Hey guys, Weir, roadrooter.com. I'm in the greenhouse thinking about the winter of our discontent. We are definitely approaching, because it is raining here in California. Literally another river in the sky is dumping on us. It's going to be a quick one supposedly, but getting ready for the winter that Cliff Hyde talked about, rivers in the sky and all that. We're also approaching a winter of secrets revealed about all the criminality that has gone on around the world, but mainly within our government. And our government will be challenged. Our nation is being challenged. When these secrets come out, it will not be taken well by humanity. It's not a case of left versus right or right versus left or even good guys versus bad guys. It's a case of there's a small cadre of human beings that have ruled our lives and forced us to believe certain things that were not true. And they use that power against us. And so I don't see this breaking out into any kind of a civil war, because the fighting won't be Democrats and Republicans. It won't be left versus right. It won't be white versus black. It'll be us versus them. Us meaning the 330 million American citizens, and them being the deep state slash media slash politicians slash bankers who controlled us. Maybe 5,000 or so, I would say, is all that we're talking about. Maybe 10,000, other people have said. Will they all go to jail? No. Will there be deals cut? Absolutely. But a lot of them need to go to jail. And what that does to our nation will be very interesting. I always fall back on to our founding documents. Will we say, okay, we pretty much went off the founding documents for a long time. And if you were in government or in the banking centers or in Hollywood, you didn't have the same rules as everybody else. And that is a problem. That is what we strayed away from, is our founding documents. And we will have to go back to those founding documents. We will have to live by the Constitution of the United States of America, word for word. It is a good thing that the nation is armed. Absolutely. Because the thought of arming a nation is not so that people can run around and shoot up other people, or it's not hunting. It's basically for two reasons. The number one reason is protection against your government, because your government is the most likely people to want to take those arms away, because it gives them more control if they control the army. And the Founding Fathers knew this. But the other thing that it does, it stops any other country from invading the United States of America. No country in their right mind would ever invade the United States, because every other house has a gun. And a lot of them have a lot of guns, and you don't know which one has guns and which one does not have guns. So I think it's very important that the nation is armed to the teeth. But what we're going to have to deal with now is sorting out who within our government are the bad guys and who are the good guys, and who's kind of on the fence, who had to go along with the bad guys to go along to get along. We're seeing a lot of that now in the revelations of congressmen doing things that are against the rules of civilized society. Groping women, women groping men, absolutely, that goes on also. And then there's the darker stuff. And that darker stuff is just blatantly criminal and evil. And that darker stuff is about to come out. I think before the end of the year, we're going to have these, I think it's over 1,000 now, indictments of some very, very, very influential people. And you'll know their names. And it will include Joe Biden. It'll include the Clintons. It'll include the Bushes. It'll include Obamas. It'll include a lot of those people. And it's not, they'll be very careful to make sure that it is not seen as a left versus right issue. So McCain will go down. The Bush family will go down. other people within the Republican Party will go down, as well as the Democratic Party. And people will throw away these parties. We've already been shown just how criminal the actual parties are. The group of people who are the Republicans and run the Republican Party, and the group of people who are the Democrats that run the Democratic Party, all criminal. And it's two sides of the very same coin. And the deep state, as they call them, ran everything. And that's going to break down. This is the draining of the swamp. This is the calm before the storm. We're in the storm now. You're going to see more and more revelations coming out of Washington, D.C. about sexual impropriety. More and more stories coming out of Chicago, coming out of New York, coming out of Dallas, probably coming out of San Francisco. And that's the idea, is to get people to a point of outrage, not against any party, but against the concept of using power to dominate sexually over another human being, which is all goes back to, it will get back to the things that went on at Comet Ping Pong Pizza and that whole issue. And it's gigantic. I mean, that's a worldwide phenomenon. And it is going to change the way we look at things, absolutely. So be ready for a lot of chaos this winter and into the spring, because I think pulling that Band-Aid is a big deal. It's a monster deal. Hang on, I'm getting that water dripping on my computer. Yeah, it is raining, and my greenhouse is leaking a little bit. It's a good time to shore up the holes in it. And I wasn't very successful in growing this year. I was okay, but certain things I can grow pretty easily in this area, and certain things I try to grow and don't even come close, so I should just give up. But there are things, I love growing bell peppers, grow really easy here. So that's right over there, and jalapeno peppers. Anyway, back to what's going to happen. I don't know how the people will react when these indictments come down. I hope they don't blame Trump and say, see, that's the thing. It's going to be Republicans and Democrats. And the cabal of sex traffickers and the people involved in selling American secrets was both on the left and on the right. So I don't think it gets back to the Economist magazine cover from last year, the tarot cards. And if you look at that cover very closely, I did a full analysis of it. You can get it at roadtoguru.com. You look at that cover very closely, and you can clearly see Donald Trump sitting on the judgment card. And the judgment card in tarot reading doesn't mean you're going to lay down judgment on people. No, it means using good judgment. And clearly Trump has been holding off. He has all the necessary proof to prove that a lot of these criminal congressmen and lobbyists and people in banking and people in film and in the entertainment industry, he's got all the proof he needs to put them in jail, has always had that proof. He wanted to get people in certain places so that the transition won't be as chaotic. And that's what we're going through now. On the monetary side, yeah, the cryptos have a lot to do with it. We are looking to move into a high-tech society instead of fall back into a Mad Max world. So that's what's going on with the cryptos. I hope everybody is involved. I hope the best way to learn about cryptos is to buy a little. Go to Coinbase and just start an account. I know they're hard to deal with, but that'll get you started. And the best way to understand cryptos is to get started with them. Do a transaction. Send $5 in Bitcoin to your friend and see if you can do it. See if it works. And you'll find out it's pretty fun to do, but also it is a tool to take us away from the criminal system. And everybody agrees that our banking system is evil. Unbacked fiat money is bad. And the cryptos are offering the first real solution to that problem. No, gold and silver were never a solution. First of all, the bad guys have all the gold. Absolutely, and silver's needed in other places. So if we went on to a gold standard, you're just handing the power back to the bad guys. And they wouldn't give it out to you. They would say, oh yeah, don't don't worry, you can trust us that it's backing your money. Well, trust is what's leaving the system. So there ain't going to be no trust going forward, so gold would have never worked. Silver won't work because we need it in these high-tech inventions that are being invented right now, and the secrets that will be revealed that have been withheld from us for over 100 years, going back to Tesla's first inventions. All that will be coming out over the next few years, so it's very exciting, and I hope you're all excited. But you got to remember, we're going. This winter is going to be a chaotic one as the swamp is drained. They're going to try to do it, keeping things intact. I think at some point in 2018, things might fall down. And when they do fall down, it's not going to be fighting in the streets. You're not mad at the Republicans. Won't be mad at the Democrats. Democrats won't be mad at the Republicans. It won't be a race thing. It won't be a rich and poor thing, really, either. It'll be, these are bad human beings. Here's what they did. Here's the 650,000 documents on the Uma Abedin laptop. And here's video on some of the most heinous things you ever saw being committed by many of our leaders on both sides of the aisle. And all that is breaking down with the, Al Franken is the latest guy to be taken down. And there'll be more people coming out and said, yeah, Al Franken did that to me too, blah, blah, blah. These aren't one-off instances. So the $15 million that was spent to bail out certain members of Congress, kind of hush money to keep sexual harassment suits under control. People need to know where their $15 million was spent and why was it spent. Why were people given settlements and nobody told about? Was it the Clintons? Was it the Bushes? Was it Joe Biden? One of the biggest creeps you'll ever meet in your life, supposedly. There were rules never get in an elevator if you're a woman with Joe Biden. And that's all these kind of secret rules in Congress. It's really bad. Very bad. But it's all going to come out. And you got to be ready for it. A lot's going to be shocking to a lot of people. So hopefully we can put our anger at the right place, which is let's blame the criminals. Let's not blame each other. We have a great country. We just got to remember why we were invented and go back to our founding documents and understand that the Constitution can survive even though our leaders cannot move forward with us into the future. Anyway, it's going to be crazy, so hang on to your hats. This is Bix Weir from the Leaky Greenhouse. I'll talk to you later.